So what's the latest that we know?
Morning. Well, we just know the bare sketch of these intentions. The fact that SoftBank is considering a sale of Fortress is very intriguing, obviously, although all the usual caveats apply. There's the negotiations and consideration are still at an early stage. But it does fit in the broader pattern of transformation of SoftBank from this big operating company and technology investor to pretty much a private equity fund / venture capital fund. So Masayoshi Son has sold off a lot of the operating units, including Sprint, the domestic operations in Japan, as well as now in the process of trying to spin off NVIDIA. So it does make sense that Fortress would be next on the sale list, simply because Son's intention for this purchase back in 2007 had never played out. The goal was to have Fortress operate his mammoth $100 billion vision fund, which was set up earlier that year in 2017, but because of the restrictions put on by the Committee on Investment in the United States, he had to take completely an independent approach, and Fortress basically operated as a separate unit, never quite meshing with the rest of SoftBank's operations.
What does that mean then? If they get rid of Fortress, does that mean that they could be looking into a potential purchase of another similar company where they could actually get regulatory approval from CFIUS?
Well, whenever Masa gets his hands on some money, the question is always what's he going to do with it, right? One topic on the top of everyone's minds is whether SoftBank will use the money to do another buyback. Last year, they spent around $23 billion buying back shares, and it pushed their stock to a record high this March. But shares have plunged since then as the buyback program ran down. And with no new announcements, the sort of hopes for the new buyback have slowly petered out. But every time you see these news of SoftBank coming into some cash, the hope revives. But really what we've seen so far is that whenever SoftBank cashes in on investments, usually the money goes to its Vision Fund 2. They've committed $40 billion to investing in startups, and they've burned through half of that already. So it's anyone's guess, but I would think that Son is probably more interested in investing in startups rather than acquiring large firms like Fortress again.